Hello knitters! I've never really loved how a 2x2 rib looks when you set it up for a tubular bind off. The stitches always get a bit stretched and messy. So I started playing around with it, trying a few different things to make it cleaner. And I came across this little trick. It's super simple, but it makes such a difference. First, let me show you how this is usually done. To set up a 2x2 rib for a tubular bind off, we need to rearrange the stitches into a 1x1 rib. That means some of the stitches actually need to be crossed to change their order. So I start with a knit stitch, knit 1. The next stitch is also a knit stitch, but it needs to become a purl stitch in the new sequence. So here's where we rearrange. I take my right needle behind the 2 stitches and insert it into the second stitch purlwise. Then I carefully pull the left needle out so that one stitch is released. Now I bring my left needle around to the front and pick up that slipped stitch again, and then transfer the other stitch back onto the left needle. Now the stitches have swapped places. From here I purl 1, knit 1. The next stitch is already a purl stitch, and the one after that is a knit stitch. So those are correct. And then I repeat the same crossing process again and rearrange the next pair. This works, but see how those knit stitches that were crossed over start to look a bit loose and stretched? They lose that clean, even look. So here's a super simple trick that makes a big difference. All I'm doing is rearranging the stitches in exactly the same way, but instead of doing it from the right side, I'm doing it from the wrong side. I'm working in the round here using magic loop. So normally I would pull out the back needle and work across the stitches on my front needle. But for this, I do the opposite. I pull out the front needle and work the stitches from the back needle instead, basically working along the inside of the sleeve. The steps stay exactly the same way, but because the stitches are crossed on the wrong side, the knit stitches on the right side stay much neater and more even. And that's it. Same steps, just worked from the inside instead of the outside. When you reach the halfway point of your round, you'll turn your work just like you normally would with magic loop. The only thing to keep in mind is that we are still working from the inside. So instead of pulling out the back needle, you'll pull out the front needle. Then just continue working across, rearranging the stitches in exactly the same way as before. Once your stitches are set up like this, you can go straight into your tubular bind off as usual. But now your knit stitches stay nice and even, without that stretched look.